Hi, I'm Tash from Heart and Design. Thanks for coming along and learning to draw with me. I hope your journey in art is fun and therapeutic for you. Remember, there's no right or wrong in art. I'm just giving you the tools to get you started. Now, this is our how to draw a watermelon sheet, as you can see. You will need a pencil. Any will do, but I like an HB. You will need an eraser of some kind. This is your standard rubber eraser. And there's also this kneadable eraser, which is really good, and you can shape into any shape you like. And it's really good if you need to get something tiny done. You can make a little point. So you could have one of those as well if you wanted. Don't forget to make sure you have a sharpener and make sure your pencil has a nice point. So let's get started. We're going to follow the instructions on the sheet. And let's see how we get on. Right, let's move the rubbers out the way. So the first thing to think about is tracing. Now, it's really good to trace because you get a feel for how to draw the shapes before you do it and go and do your own version. So on number 1, it says here in the instructions, oh, by the way, this is difficulty level 1, so this is for beginners. We're going to trace the curve of the watermelon on the inside line. Then we're going to do the cross line through the middle. Now this has a little bit of a curve to it, which gives it its 3D shape. Okay, so then we're going to do the next outside line curves. There's one, there's the other. Now, where you hold your pencil is also quite important. When you're doing tiny detail, it's really good to hold it right at the front, which will be good for when we do the pips. Holding in the middle gives you a bit more loose freedom, and holding it at the end means what you're working on will be really loose. You can't direct the pencil as well. So it's useful depending on what you're trying to achieve. So now we're going to do the last outline of the watermelon, and that will give us our 2 layers of watermelon before you get into the center, into the middle. Okay, so basically all that was, so you can see me draw it on here. I'll draw it on this box. So it's an outline, curve with another outline curve, and then a curved middle bit, and that's pretty much it. And then another curve on both sides, and then another curve on both sides. It's simple. You can do that. I know you can. You've got this. Number 2. So the second step is to practice the pips. We've already done the outside and the middle, so we don't need to do that again unless you want to. And we're going to just draw the pips. So draw around the pips that are already there, like so, and then colour them in. Now, I'm going to go over here to this side to show you how to draw the pips, seeds, whatever you want to call them. They are like water drops. So the way I do it is I know that there's a line there and a line there. It's a bit like an ice cream cone. You can see. Okay, so now I've done one. I'm just going to do it in one, and it gives it more of a seed look. So it's up for the first bit of the V, do your curve, back. There, hope you can see that fine. Now, go on and practice doing it on all the others. Make sure you've got a real feel for it, and you can either practice the shading in of them or just do the outside line. Okay, so just practice. This sheet is for practice. Now, number 3, it says colour with, oh sorry, that's step 3. Step 2, use the next page to draw 1, 2 and 3. We're not there yet. We're on trace 3. So this time it's to trace over your watermelon slices that I've drawn. Okay, so you can do that. Now, to show you what to do, it's a V again. Okay, everything we draw comes from line, from shapes. So once you know that in your head, everything becomes a lot easier. So we've drawn that part. Now I'm going to just do a curve for the top, do another curve on top of that, and then another curve on top of that. There you are, you've got your slice. Okay, and then you just draw some of those pips in that you've practiced, as you can see there. Do it twice, practice both, and then you've got it. so let's go on to the next stage, which is what I was going to, on to step 2. We're going to use this page to draw all of the stages together and complete our final drawing. Now, if you want to keep this page all nice and neat, then don't do your practices like I have done. I'm really just trying to use that to teach you. So let's go here. So I'm going to start with the first curve of the watermelon and kind of use your wrist to get the shape. It does help. Now, don't be restricted by the paper being sat just how it is. If you want to move it, move it. I'm going to turn it upside down because then I'm going to use my wrist again to do the other curve. Okay, and that helps. Then I'm going to make sure my 2 ends have joined up. Now, I'm pressing quite hard. Please can you press quite gently, because if you make a mistake, you can rub it out again. If you're pressing too hard, it will become ingrained into the paper and you won't be able to rub it out as easily. So we're now going to do the curve, it's a slight curve from one end to the other. Then we're going to go around one edge and around the other. Now, I made a mistake. I went too close and I really don't want that to be like that. So I'm going to rub it out. I'm not going to stress about it. It's fine. Because when you're trying to do a line against another line, it can be tricky. Then we're going to do another one here. We need to get the green edge in. I'm going to move my paper. It's probably where I went wrong. And come round. It's much easier if it's in the direction of where you want your hand to be. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, move the paper. You could even, if you're left-handed, work on this side. You can still see the drawing. Okay? Now, let's work on, I think I'm actually going to do although I'm not going in order, I'm going to do the little pieces to the side, the little wedges of watermelon. So it's the V, like up here. I'm going to do another one down here, another V, do your little curves, make sure there's two areas to fill, there we go. And then we're going to work on the droplets shapes for the pips for the seeds. So remember, these need to be randomly placed, bigger ones, smaller ones, because in nature nothing is straight and linear, and I could feel myself going into a pattern then, so I'm just going to put some close together. There we go. If you can feel your brain almost going, that's there, so we need to put another one there to make it straight. Don't do that. It's so easy to do that. Try not to. It will look more realistic if you don't. Okay, so that's all the pips drawn, all the seeds drawn in. Going to do a few more there, and we're done. So these, hopefully you're watching this because you've already downloaded my subscription service. It's £5 a month. You get access to all of the worksheets on my website. It's heart, H-A-R-T, and design.org.uk. And there is a special section called Chameleon, which is my new version of journals and art books and sketchbooks that are completely bespoke to you. That's why they're called Chameleon, so you can adapt them to how you want it to be. And all these sheets are available there because they can also be a part of those journals. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me. If you've seen it, you've either signed up or you've seen somebody else's. Hopefully you'll sign up too, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.